SAT test 1. Question 1. If x minus 1 over 3 equals k and k equals 3, what is the value of x? We substitute 3 for k, and we can get x minus 1 over 3 equals 3, which means x minus 1 equals 9 and x equals 10. The first question, we should choose option D. Question 2. For I equals the square root of -1, what is the sum of these two complex numbers? We just need to add the real part together and the imaginary part together. And the real part, the sum is 7 plus -8 is -1, and the sum of the imaginary part is 12i. So we should choose option A. Question 3. On Saturday afternoon, Armand sent M text messages each hour for 5 hours, and Tyrone sent P text messages each hour for 4 hours. Which of the following represents the total number of messages sent by Armand and Tyrone on Saturday afternoon? So for Armand, each hour M text messages, 5 hours is 5M, and Tyrone each hour sent P text messages, so 4 hours is 4P. So we should choose option C. Question 4. Cassie is a repair technician for a phone company each week. She receives a batch of phones that need repairs. The number of phones that she has left to fix at the end of each day can be estimated that with the equation P equals 108 minus 23D, where P is the number of phones left and D is the number of days she has worked that week. What is the meaning of the value 108 in this equation? From the equation, we can tell when D equals 0, P equals 108, which means the initial number of phones that needs to be fixed is 108. So we should choose option B. Cassie starts each week with 108 phones to fix. Question 6. H equals 3a plus 28.6. A pedestrian uses the model above to estimate the height of each of a boy in inches in terms of the boy's age, A, in years between the ages of 2 and 5. Based on the model, what is the estimated increase in inches of a boy's height each year? So from the equation, we can tell the coefficient of the independent variable A is 3, or we see the slope of the function is 3. And the slope equals the change in y over the change in x, which means whenever x increase, here is a, whenever a increase 1 unit, correspondingly y will increase 3 units. So that in our case, it means whenever increase 1 year, the boy's height will increase 3 inches. So we should choose option A. Question 7. The formula above gives the monthly payment M needed to pay off a loan of $P at R% annual interest over N months. Which of the following gives P in terms of M, R, and N? So from the formula above, we can tell it is a very complicated expression. So we use a technique here. We set this part equal to x, and we consider it as a whole. So now we can rewrite the expression as m equals x times p. So p equals m over x. Then we substitute back. It becomes this expression after we substitute back. Then because it is equal to m divided by x, so it is also equal to m multiplied by the reciprocal. So now we have the new expression. We should choose option B. Question 8. If A over B equals 2, what is the value of 4B over A? Since A over B equals 2, so B over A should be equal to the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2. And 4B over A means 4 times B over A. So 4B over A is equal to 4 times B over A, which is equal to 1/2. So 4 times 1/2 is 2. We should choose option C, question 8. Next question, 3x plus 4y equals negative 23. We call the first equation as 1, and 2y minus x equals negative 19. We call the second equation as 2. What is the solution x and y to the system of equations above? We can solve for the value of x and y by addition method. So we multiply each side of equation 2 by 2. Then we get 4y minus 2x equals negative 38. So we multiply each side by 2. We get 4y minus 2x equals negative 38. Then we subtract 3 from equation 1. We get, so left side, we subtract, we get 3x minus negative 2x, and 4y minus 4y is 0. So the right side is negative 23 minus negative 38. So negative 23 minus negative 38. Then we get the right side is equal to 15. The left side is equal to 5x. So x equal to 3. Since only option B, the x coordinate is 3, so we can choose option B. Question 10. B equals 2.35 plus 0.25x. C equals 1.75 plus 0.40x. In the equations above, B and C represent the price per pound in dollars of beef and chicken. respectively. X weeks after July 1 during last summer. What was the price per pound of beef when it was equal to the price per pound of chicken? So B represents the price, the beef price per pound, and the C represents the price per pound of chicken. So when they are equal means B equals C. And B equals 2.35 plus 0.25x, and C equals 1.75 plus 0.40x. Then we just need to solve for x. And the right side is 0.40x minus 0.25x, which is 0.15x. And the left side is 2.35 minus 1.75. We get 0.6. So x equal to 4. But the question is, what was the price per pound of beef? So they asked the value of B or C because B equal to C. B is equal to C. So B equals C equals 2.35 plus 0.25 times 4. We get 2.35 plus 1, which is 3.35. We should choose option D. Question 10. Question 10. G of x equals ax squared plus 24. For the function g defined above, a is a constant and g of 4 equals 8. What is the value of g of negative 4? So from the given information, we know when x equals 4, y equals 8. Then we substitute 4 for x. So g of 4 equals a times 4 squared times 4 squared plus 24. Then we get 16a plus 24. They asked the value of g of negative 4. Now we need to substitute negative 4 for x. We get a times negative 4 squared plus 24. So negative 4 squared is still equal to 16a. So the g of negative 4 still equals 16a plus 24. And because g of 4 equals 8, so g of negative 4 also equals 8. We should choose option A. Question 12. A line in the xy plane passes through the origin and has a slope of 1/7. Which of the following points lies on the line? We know if a line passes through the origin, we can we know it is a direct variation. We can use y equals mx to represent the line. And because the slope is equal to 1/7, so we substitute 1/7 for m, we get 1 equals 1/7 x. Now we need to check each option to see which ordered pair is the solution of equation y equals 1/7 x. After check everyone, we get our option D. Because when x equals 14, we substitute back, and y/7 times 14 equals 2. So we should choose option D. Question 13. If x is greater than 3, which of the following is equivalent to this complicated expression? So the first step, we need to simplify this expression. So the numerator is J1, and the denominator, there are two terms, so two fractions. So the common denominator is x plus 2 times x plus 3. So the first term, we multiply the top and bottom by x plus 3. We get this expression. And the second term, we multiply both the top and the bottom by x plus 2. So we get this expression. Then next step, we add the two fractions together. We get numerator as x plus 3 plus x plus 2. And the denominator is the same, x plus 3 times x plus 2. Now simplify the numerator is 2x plus 5. And the next step, we multiply, we divided the one term equals, we multiply the reciprocal of it. So we get x plus 3 times x plus 2 divided by 2x plus 5. Then simplify the numerator, we get x plus 5x plus 6. And the denominator is 2x plus 5. So we should choose option B. Question 14. If in parentheses ax plus 2 times in parentheses bx plus 7 equals 15x squared plus cx plus 14 for all values of x, and a plus b equals 8, what are the two possible values of c? So the first step, we need to simplify the left side of the expression of the equation. We get ax times bx, we get abx squared. And the outsider is ax times 7, we get 7ax. And inner one is 2bx. And the last is 14. Then we combine the left term. So abx squared plus 7a plus 2b times x plus 14. And from the given information, this expression equals 15x squared plus 4x plus 14. So now we write it below. It equals 15x squared plus 4x plus 14. Now we should be able to recognize that AB is the coefficient of x squared. 15 is the coefficient of x squared. And the second term is the 7a plus 2b is the coefficient of x. And the c is coefficient of x. And the constants are the same, 14. So AB should be equal to 15. And the 7a plus 2b should be equal to c. So this should be equal to each other one by one. Now we get a times b equals 15. And the 7a plus 2b equals c. And another given condition is a plus b equals 8. Now we see the first two given condition. One is a times b equals 15. And another one is a plus b equals 8. So there would be two pair of possible values. One pair is a equals 3, b equals 5. Another one is a equals 5, b equals 3. So we are not sure which one is 3, which one is 5. But 3 and 5, the sum of them is 8, and the product of them is 15. So we have two possibilities. So in the first case, when A equals 3, B equals 5, C should be equals, so we have the third expression, C equals 7A plus 2B. So now we substitute back. So substitute 3 for A and 5 for B. We get C equals 7 times 3 plus 2 times 5, which is equal to 31. And in the second case, when A equals 5, B equals 3, C equals 7 times 5 plus 2 times 3, which is equal to 41. So the question 14, we should choose option D. Question 14. If 3x minus y equals 12, what is the value of 8 to the power of x over 2 to the power of y? So as we know, x equals 2 cubed. So as we know, 8 equals 2 cubed. So we use 2 cubed to replace 8. We get 2 cubed and to the power of x, and divided by 2 to the power of y. And by the power rule of the exponent, we get 2 to the power of 3x over 2 to the power of y. Now the next step, by the quotient rule of the exponent, this expression equals 2 to the power of 3x minus y. And from the given condition, 3x minus y equals 12. So we use 12 to replace 3x minus y. We get 2 to the power of 12. So for the question 14, we should choose option A. Question 16. If t is greater than 0 and t squared minus 4 equals 0, what is the value of t? Because t squared minus 4 equal to 0, which means t squared equals 4. So t equals 2 or t equals negative 2. Since t is greater than 0 from the given information, therefore t only can be equal to 2. So the answer of question 16 is t equals 2. Question 18. X plus y equals negative 9, and x plus 2y equals negative 25. So we will write the first equation as y equals negative x minus 9, and we call this equation as 3. Then because y equals negative x minus 9, then we substitute negative x minus 9 for y into the second equation. We get x plus 2 times negative x minus y 9 equals negative 25. Then simplified, x minus 2x minus 18 equals negative 25. Then x minus 2x is negative x. and equals -12 plus 18, which is -7. So negative x equals -7, x equals 7. So question 18, x equals 7. Next question. Question 19. In a right triangle, one angle measures x degree, where sine x degree equals 4/5. What is cosine 90 degrees minus x degrees? According to the cofunction identity, we know sine x degree equals cosine 90 degrees minus x degrees. And sine x degrees is equal to 4/5. So cosine 90 degrees minus x degrees also is equal to 4/5. So question 19, the value of cosine 90 degrees minus x degrees is 4/5. Question 17. A summer camp counselor wants to find a length x in feet across the lake as represented in the sketch above. The lengths represented by AB, EB, BD, and CD on the sketch were determined to be 1800 feet, 1400 feet, 700 feet, and 800 feet, respectively. Segments AC and DE intersect at B, and angle AEB and angle CDB have the same measure. What is the value of x? So first we make a note of each length of the side. So AB equals 1800, and EB equals 1400, and BD equals 700 feet, and CD equals 800 feet. Now another given condition is angle AEB equals angle CDB, which means the opposite side, the two opposite sides of angle AEB and angle CDB, AB and BC, are corresponding sides. And the angle ABE and angle DBC, they are vertical angles, so the opposite sides are also corresponding sides. And the last pair of angles is angle BAE and angle BCD. So which means BD and EB are a pair of corresponding sides. According to the property of similar figures, the corresponding sides are in proportion. So we can write a proportion like this. So AB over BC equals EB over BD equals AE over CD. And AB equals 1800. And we don't know the length of BC, but we know the length of EB and the BD, which is 1400 and 700 respectively. So from the second ratio, we can see the skew factor is 2. Continue. AE is equal to X and CD is 800. Now, according to the skill factor, we can get the value of X should be equal to 1600 feet. So the answer of question 17 is 1600 feet. Next question. Question 20. If A equals 5 square root of 2 and 2A equals square root 2x, what is the value of x? Because A equals 5 square root 2, then we multiply each side by 2, we get 2A equals 2 times 5 square root of 2. Then we get 2A equals 10 square root 2. And from the second condition, we know 2A also equals square root of 2x. So square root 2x equals 10 square root of 2. We square both sides. We get 2x equals 100 times 2. So x equals 100. So question 20, the value of x is 100. Question 1. John runs at different speeds. As part of his training program, the graph shows his target heart rate at different times during his workout. On which interval is the target heart rate strictly increasing, then strictly decreasing? So we see option A. Option A, between 0 and 30 minutes. So 0 and 30 minutes, we can see the graph increase steadily, then remain constant. So we should eliminate option A. Option B, between 40 minutes and 60 minutes, and 40 minutes, 60 minutes. So this part of the graph strictly increase, then strictly decrease. So we should choose option B. Next question, question 3. In the figure above, lines L and M are parallel and the lines S and T are parallel. If the measure of angle 1 is 35 degrees, what is the measure of angle 2? Because angle L is parallel to angle M, so angle 1 and angle 3, they are congruent angles. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. And because S is parallel to T, therefore angle 4 and angle 3, they are congruent angles. So angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. Therefore, angle 4 is congruent to angle 1. And from the given condition, and angle 1 is 35 degrees. So angle 1, angle 3, angle 1, angle 4 should be equal to 35 degrees. And from the figure above, we can tell angle 2 and angle 4 are a pair of supplementary angles. So angle 2 and angle 4, the sum of angle 2 and angle 4 should be equal to 180 degrees. And because angle 1 is congruent to angle 4, so the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 1 should be equal to 180 degrees. And as we know, angle 1 is 35 degrees. So the measure of angle 2 plus 35 degrees should be equal to 180 degrees. So angle 2 should be equal to 145 degrees. So we should choose option D. Question 2. If y equals kx, where k is a constant, and y equals 24 when x equals 6, what is the value of y when x equals 5? So y equals kx. And when x equals 6, y equals 24. Then we plug in the given information. So 24 equals y and 6 equals x. So k equals 24 divided by 6 is 4. Now we have our equation, y equals 4x. And the question is, what is the value of y when x equals 5? Then we substitute 5 for x. We get the value of y equals 4 times 5, which is 20. So question 2, we should choose option C. Next question. If 16 plus 4x is 10 more than 14, so now we can have our equation. So 16 plus 4x is 10 more than 14, which means 16 plus 4x equals 24. Therefore, 4x should be equal to 24 minus 16, which is 8. And the question is, what is the value of 8x? And we can tell 8x is 2 times 4x. So we multiply each side by 2. And we get 4x equals 8 times 2, which is 16. So question 4, we should choose option C. Next question. Which of the following graphs best shows a strong negative association between D and T? A strong negative association. From the graphs below, we can tell option A and option B, they are relatively no correlation. And option C is a positive correlation, and option D is a negative correlation. So we should choose option D. Next question. A hospital stores one type of medicine in 2 decagram containers. Based on the information given in the box above, how many 1 milligram doses are there in 1, 2 decagram containers? From the box above, we can tell 1 decagram equals 10 grams. So 1 decagram equals 10 grams. So 2 decagrams should be equal to 20 grams. Continue. 1 gram also equals 1,000 milligrams. So 20 grams should be equal 20 times 1,000 milligrams, which means 20,000, which means 20,000 milligrams. So we should choose option D. 7. The number of rooftops with solar panel installations in 5 cities is shown in the graph above. If the total number of installations is 27,500, what is an appropriate label for the vertical axis of the graph? So from the graph above, we can tell city A is 9, city B is 5. and CTC is 6, CTD is 4, and CTE is 3.5. The sum of them is 27.5. And from given information, the total number of installations is 27,500. So we divide this number by 27.5. We get 1,000. So that is the unit of the vertical axis. So we should choose option C. Question 8. For what value of n is the absolute value of n minus 1 plus 1 equals to 0? So we can have our equation, the absolute value of n minus 1 plus 1 equals 0. And so the absolute value of n minus 1 should be equal to -1. The problem is no number, the absolute value of any number can't be negative. It can be 0, it can be positive, but it can't be negative. So we should choose option D. There is no such value of n that satisfies this equation. Questions 9 and 10 refer to the following information. A equals 1052 plus 1.08t. The speed of a sound wave in air depends on the air temperature. The formula above shows the relationship between A, the speed of a sound wave in feet per second, and T, the air temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So question 9, which of the following expresses the air temperature in terms of the speed of a sound wave? So we just need to rewrite the equation. A equals 1052 plus 1.08 t into a function in terms of t. So the first step, subtract 1052. We get A minus 1052 equals 1.082. And then divide both sides by 1.08. So we get T equals A minus 1052 divided by 1.08. So we should choose option A. Next question. Question 11. Which of the following numbers is not a solution of the inequality 3x minus 5 greater than or equal to 4x minus 3? So we move the term 4x to the left side, and we get 3x minus 4x, and is greater than -3. Also move the -5 to the right side. So we get -x is greater than or equal to 2. So next step, we need to divide each side by -1 to isolate variable x. So don't forget, we need to flip the sign here, because we divide each side by -1. So we get x is less than or equal to -2. And the option B, option C, and option D, they are all less than or equal to -2. So only option A, -1, is not a solution of the inequality. Question 10. At which of the following air temperatures will the speed of a sound wave be closest to 1,000 feet per second? And we have the equation A equals 1052 plus 1.08t. And this equation explains the relationship between the sound of speed and the temperature. And the question is when the speed of a sound wave is 1000 feet per second, what is the temperature? So we just need to substitute 1000 for A and solve for T. So 1000 equals 1052 plus 1.08t. So 1.08t equals negative 1052 minus plus 1000. So 1.08t equals negative 52. So t equals negative 52 divided by 1.08. So it is equal to negative 48.15. So we can tell option B is the closest number. So negative 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Question 12. Based on the histogram above, of the following, which is the closest to the average arithmetic mean number of speeds per apple? From the histogram above, we can tell the first column is 2 apples. So there are 2 apples, and each apple has 3 seeds. In the second column, there are 4 apples, and each apple has 5 seeds. And the third one is 1 apple has 6 seeds, and 2 apples have 7 seeds respectively. And the last column, there are 3 apples, and each apple has 9 seeds. And the formula of mean is equal to the sum of all the values divided by the number of values. So it is equal to 2 times 3 plus 4 times 5 plus 1 times 6 plus 2 times 7 plus 3 times 9. So the numerator represent the sum of all seeds. And there are 12 apples, and divided by 12, we can get how many seeds each apple have. So we get 73 is the sum divided by 12 apples. So the quotient is 6.08. The option C, 6 is the closest answer. So we should choose option C. Question 13. A group of 10th grade students responded to a survey that asks which math courses they were currently enrolled in. The survey data were broken down as shown in the table above. Which of the following categories accounts for approximately 19% of all the survey response? So option A, females taking geometry. So from the table above, females taking geometry is 53. So 53 divided by the total number of students is 310. So the percentage is 0.17. 17%. Option B, females taking algebra 2. Algebra 2 is female is 62. And 62 divided by the total number is 310. We get 0.2 which means 20%. Option C, males taking geometry. Males taking geometry from table above, we can tell males taking geometry is 59, and divided by total number 310 is 0.19, which is 90%. So option C is our correct answer. Question 14. The table above lists the length, so the nearest to the nearest inch of a random sample of 21 brown bullhead fish. The outlier measurement of 24 inches is an error. So the last one, the number 21 is an outlier. Of the mean, median, and range of the values listed, which will change the most? Which will change the most? If the 24-inch measurement is removed from the data. So option A, mean before the last number is removed is the sum. We use the sum to represent the sum of first 20 numbers. So sum plus the last number 24 divided by 21, and that is the mean. And after the last number is removed, the mean becomes the sum, which means the sum of the first 20 numbers and divided by 20. So for option A, the mean definitely will change. But because the change is 24 and divided by 21, so the change will not be that big after divided by a number 21. Then we go to option B, median. Median before the last number is removed is 12, and after removed is also 12. So option B will not change. Option C, the range before the last number is removed is from 8 to 24, and after it is removed is 8 to 16. So we can see the range will change sharply. So we should choose option C. The range will change the most. Option D, they will all change by the same amount. So option D is not correct because the median will not change. Question 15 and 16 refer to the following information. The graph above displays the total cost, C, in dollars of renting a boat for 8 hours. From the graph above, we can tell the slope. So we do it again. So the slope, I use this 2 point to find the slope of this straight line. So the slope is equal to rise over run. So the rise of these 2 points is 10 minus, is 11. It's 11 minus 8. So the rise is 11 minus 8. And the run is 1 to 2. So it's 2 minus 1. So the slope of the straight line is 3. Now we can use the point slope form to find the equation of the straight line. So y minus, we need to choose a point. So I choose the y-intercept, which is 0 and 5. So 1 minus 5 equals slope times x minus 0. We get our equation y equals 3x plus 5. Now we go to question 15. What does the c-intercept represent in the graph? So the c-intercept we can tell is 5, and 1h equals 0. The cost is $5, which means the initial cost of renting the boat. So we should choose option A. Next question, question 16. Which of the following represents the relationship between H and C? We already find the relationship between cost and H. So the y-axis is cost, and the x-axis represents the time in hour. So C equals 3H plus 5. We should choose option C. Question 17. The complete graph of the function f is shown in the xy plane above. For what value of x is the value of f of x at its minimum? From the graph above, we can tell the minimum value of f of x is point A, which is -2. So the minimum value is -2. And the coordinate of point A is -3, -2, which means when x equals -3, we have the minimum value -2. So our question is, for what value of x is the value of f of x and its minimum? So we should choose option B, -3. Question 18. Y is less than -x plus a, and y is greater than x plus b. In the xy plane, if 0 and 0 is a solution to the system of inequalities above, which of the following relationship between a and b must be true? So because 0 and 0 is a solution of both inequalities, then we plug in 0 and 0. So y is 0 and x is also 0. So from the first inequality, we get 0 is less than 0 plus a, which means a is greater than 0. A is greater than 0. Now we plug in 0 and 0 into the second inequality. So y is greater than x plus b. And we plug 0 and 0 into the second inequality. We get 0 is greater than 0 plus b. So we get the second conclusion. B is less than 0. Now we have conclusion A is greater than 0 and B is less than 0. Therefore, we can have our final conclusion. A is greater than B. So only option A is accurate. So option B, option C, and option D, they might be correct, but they are not as accurate and as positive as option A. So we should choose option A, question 18. Question 19. A food truck sells salads for $6.5 each and drinks for $2 each. The food truck's revenue from selling a total of 209 salads and drinks in one day was $803. $6.5. How many salads were sold that day? So we use X to represent the number of salads being sold that day, and use Y to represent the number of drinks being sold that day. and the total number from the given information is 209. So we can have our first equality, first equation, x plus y equals 209. And each salad is $6.5, and each drink is $2. And X salad is 6.5x dollars, and the Y drinks is $2.Y, and the sum of them is $836.5 from the given information. The revenue is $836.5. Now we have a system of equalities. Then we solve it. From the first equality, y equals 209 minus x. Because x plus y equals 209, so y equals 209 minus x. Then we substitute 209 minus x for y into the second equality, and 6.5x plus 2 times y, and we use 209 minus x to replace y. We get the equation like this. Then we just need to simplify this equation, and 6.5x plus 418 minus 2x equals 836.5. Then combine the like terms, we get 4.5x equals 836.5 minus 418. We get 418.5 equals 4.5x. So x equals 93. We should choose option B, question 19. Question 20. Alma bought a laptop computer at a store that gave a 20% discount of his original price. The total amount she paid to the cashier was $P, including an 8% sales tax on the discounted price. Which of the following represents the original price of the computer in terms of P? We use X to represent the original price. Then from the given information, she got a 20% discount off his original price. So that means the price she paid is 0.8x. Continue. And she also paid an 8% sales tax on the discounted price. Be careful, it is on the discounted price. And the discounted price is 0.8x. Then times 0.08. So this expression represents the 8% sales tax. And the sum of them should be equal to the price she really paid. So it's P. Now we simplify this expression. We use the distributive property. We get 0.8x and times 1 plus 0.08. So we factor a 0.8x out of the expression. Now 0.8x times 1 plus 0.08 is 1.08. So 0.8x times 1.08 equals P. So the original price, which we use X to represent, equals the price she really paid divided by 0.8 times 1.08. So we should choose option D. Next question, 21. Dreams record during 1 week. The data in the table above were produced by a sleep researcher studying the number of dreams people recall when asked to record their dreams for 1 week. Group X consisted of 100 people who observed early bedtimes, and Group Y consists of 100 people who observed later bedtime. So this is later bedtime and early bedtime. And if a person is chosen at random from those who record at least one dream, what is the probability that the person belongs to Group Y? So the theoretical probability, the formula is P equals the number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of total outcomes. In our case, the favorable outcomes is the person belongs to Group Y. So the Group Y is 11 and 68. That is our favorable outcomes. So 11 plus 68 and divided by the number of total outcomes. Because this person is chosen from those who record at least one dream. So at least one dream includes the second column and the third column. So the sum of it is 39 plus 125. So we do the calculation. The numerator is 79 and the denominator is 164. So we should choose option C, question 21. The table above lists the annual budget in thousands of dollars for each of 6 different state programs in Kansas from 2007 to 2010. So question 22. Which of the following best approximates the average rate of change in the annual budget for agriculture and natural resources in Kansas from 2008 to 2010? So the ratio of the average rate of change for agriculture and natural resources is equal to the change in Y divided by change in X. So that is the definition of average rate of change. And 2008 is 488,106 minus 358,708. So that is the difference in Y. Always see the change in Y. And the change in X is 2010 minus 2008. And we do the calculation and get the value of average rate of change is 64,699. Now we need to choose the closest one. So we should choose option B. Next question, 23. Of the following, which program's ratio of his 2007 budget to his 2010 budget is closest to the human resources program's ratio of its 2007 budget to its 2010 budget? So the ratio of the human resources program is human resources is here. So the ratio of human resources is equal to 5,921,379 divided by 4,051,050 and 50. So the ratio after we do the calculation, we get the ratio as 1.46. Now we need to calculate area ratio in 4 options. So the option A, agriculture and natural resources. Agriculture and natural resources, the ratio should be equal to 488,106 divided by 373,904, and the ratio is 1.31. Continue option B, the education. The two numbers are 3,008,000 and 36 divided by 2,164,607. The ratio is 1.4. Option C, highways and transportation. Highways and transportation is here. The two numbers are 1,773,893 divided by 1,468,882. So the ratio is 1.21. The last option, public safety. The two numbers are 464,233 divided by 263,463. The ratio is 1.76. So the closest ratio is option B, education. Question 24. Which of the following is an equation of a circle in the xy plane with center 0 and 4 and a radius with endpoint 4/3 and 5? We know the standard form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Where h and k represent the center of the circle and r represent the radius of the circle. In our question, the center of the circle is 0 and 4, which means h equals 0 and k equals 4. Then we substitute 0 for h and k and 4 for k. Then we get x minus 0 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals r squared. Now we need to find the value of radius. I sketch a graph here. And this is the center of the circle, and this is I use the letter A to represent the endpoint. It's 4/3 and 5. Now we can tell if we want to find the distance or the radius of those 2 points, we need to use the distance formula. So here r equals the distance formula right here is equal to the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Now we use this formula. So r equals 4/3 minus 0 squared, and plus 5 minus 4 squared. Then we get 16 over 9 plus 5 minus 4 is 1. We rewrite it as 9 over 9. Then we get 25 divided by 9. And the square root of 25 over 9 is equal to 5 over 3. So that is the length of the radius. Now we can write our circle equation. So x squared plus 1 minus 4 squared equals 5 over 3 squared, which is 25 over 9. We should choose option A. Question 26. Katerina is a botanist studying the production of pears by two types of pear trees. She noticed that type A trees produced 20% more pears than type B trees did. Based on Katerina's observation, if the type A trees produced 144 pears, how many pears did the type B trees produce? From the second question, she noticed that type A trees produced 20% more pears than type B trees did. So from the second sentence, we can find the relationship between type A and type B. So type A is 1 plus 20% more of type B. So 1 plus 20% is 1.2. So the relationship between A and B is A equals 1.2B. And in our question, type A trees produced 144 pairs. So A equals 144. And 144 equals 1.2B. So B should be equal to 144 divided by 1.2, which is 120. So we should choose option B. Question 25. H equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 25t. The equation above expresses the approximate height h in meters of a ball t seconds after it is launched vertically upward from the ground with an initial velocity of 25 meters per second. So the initial velocity is 25 meters per second. And after approximately how many seconds will the ball hit the ground? So when the ball hit the ground means the height should be equal to 0. Then we substitute 0 for h into our equation. H equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 25t. So it is equal to 0. Then we solve for t. By factoring a t out of the expression, we have 0 equals negative t times, in parentheses, 4.9t minus 25. According to the zero product rule, t equals 0 or 4.9t minus 25 equals 0. So the value of t has two, so t can be two, so t have two values. One is t equals 0. Another one is t is equal to 5.10 meters per second. So we should choose option D because option D is the closest velocity. And t equals 0 means the initial position of the ball is 0. Question 27. A square field measures 10 meters by 10 meters. 10 students each mark off a randomly selected region of the field. Each region is square and it has side length of 1 meter. And no two regions overlap. So we can tell from the given information a big square field whose dimension is 10 times 10 is divided into 100 small regions, and every region has a dimension of 1 times 1 meter. So continue. The students count the earthworms contained in the soil to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface in each small region, and the results are shown in the table below. Question: which of the following is a reasonable approximation of the number of earthworms to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface in the entire field? So how to find a reasonable approximation of the number of earthworms in that big square field? First, let's find the reasonable approximation of number of earthworms in each one small region. So the better way is to find the mean. We use the mean to approximate the number of earthworms in each small region. So mean equals the sum divided by the number of the values, which is 10. There are 10 small regions, and the sum of it is those 10 values. So we do the calculation. The sum is 1,471, and divided by 10, we have our average value is 147.1, which is about 150. So this is the average number of earthworms in each small regions, small regions. But our question is, what is the number of earthworms in the big square field whose dimension is 10 times 10? So in this big square field, there are 100 that small regions. So now we need to use 150 times 100. Then we can get the total number of earthworms in that big square field, which is 15,000. So we should choose option C. Question 28. If the system of inequalities y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 1 and y is greater than 1/2 x minus 1 is graphed in the xy plane above, which quadrant contains no solution to the system? So first we need to find the feasible region defined by the question. For the first inequality, the boundary line is y equals 2x plus 1. Let's draw the bottom line first. So I call the first bottom line as y1 and the second bottom line as y2. So y1 equals 2x plus 1. So I use a purple color to draw it. So this line represents y1. Now we need to find the area which represent y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 1. The normal way to find the feasible area, we need to select a point to test which part represent y is greater than 2x plus 1, because the boundary line y equals 2x plus 1 in fact divide the xy plane into two parts. So this line divided the x1 plane into two parts. One part is above, is here, and the other part is below. So we are not sure which part is greater than 2x plus 1, which part is less than 2x plus 1. But we know on the line y equals 2x plus 1. So we need to select a point to test which part is greater than 2x plus 1 or smaller than 2x plus 1. Normally, we choose the origin 0 and 0 to test it. So after I plug in 0 and 0, we get 0 greater than or equal to 0 plus 1. So this is a false statement. So if after we plug in the point, we get a false statement, then we should shade the area doesn't include the point 0 and 0. So we should shade so that's why I shaded in purple. So that's why I shaded here. So it's left. Or we see above, because this half doesn't include the point 0 and 0. Continue. The second inequality, the boundary line is y equals the second boundary line is y equals 1/2 x minus 1. I use the red line to draw it. Still, this boundary line also divided the xy plane into two halves. One half represent greater than 1/2 x minus 1. One half represent less than 1/2 x minus 1. To be accurate, I should use dash line to write the boundary line, because it's not equal to. So I should use a boundary line, dash line. So this is the second line, y2. Now we need to choose a point, not on the line. We still choose the point 0 and 0. Then we plug in is 0 greater than 0 minus 1. So this is a true statement because 0 is greater than -1. So if it leads to a true statement, we just need to shade the half includes the point 0 and 0. So that's why I shade the half include the 0 and 0. Now we need to find the overlapping area. I use a different color to shade it. So now we can tell the overlapping area is this part. Now we know which option we should choose. The question is, which quadrant contains no solution? We can tell the overlapping area contains the first quadrant the second quadrant and the third quadrant. So only the fourth quadrant has no solution. So we should choose the option C. Next question. Question 30. Which of the following is an equivalent form of the equation of the graph shown in the xy plane above, from which the coordinates of vertex A can be identified as constant in the equation? In fact, question 30, we can quickly find the correct answer. So it is D, because only D, the equation is in the vertex form. But we can double check. The equation is y equals x squared minus 2x minus 15. Here we can use a technique called complete square. So now I think you can notice that I add 1 to x squared minus 2x to complete a square. This is a perfect square, x minus 1 and squared. And because I add 1, I need to minus 1 to offset the change. So minus 1 minus 15 is minus 16. So option D is the correct answer. Question 29. For a polynomial p of x, the value of p of 3 is negative 2. Which of the following must be true about p of x? According to the remainder theorem, which states that if f of x is a polynomial in x, then the remainders on dividing f of x by x minus a is f of a. So in our question, the polynomial is p of x. And if it is divided by x minus 3, according to the remaining theorem, the remainder should be equal to p of 3, which is equal to negative 2. So we should choose option D. The remainder, when p of x is divided by x minus 3 is negative 2. Question 31. White can husk at least 12 dozen ears of corn per hour and at most 18 dozen ears of corn per hour. So the rate is from 12 to 18. Based on this information, what is a possible amount of time in hours that it would take White to husk 72 dozen ears of corn? So time equals the amount of ears of corn divided by the rate. So the time ranges from 72 divided by 18 to 72 divided by 12. So it is 4 to 6. So for question 31, 4, 5, 6, and they are all the answers. Question 32. The posted weight limit for a covered wooden bridge in Pennsylvania is 6,000 pounds. A delivery truck that is carrying X identical boxes, each weighing 14 pounds, will pass over the bridge. If the combined weight of the empty delivery truck and its driver is 4,500 pounds, what is the maximum possible value for X that will keep the combined weight of the truck, driver, and boxes below the bridge's posted weight limit? So the weight limit. So the weight limit is 6,000 pounds. And this delivery truck carrying X identical boxes and each 14 pounds. So X should be 14x pounds, and plus the empty truck and his driver. So the total weight is 4,500. And the sum of them should be less than or equal to the weight limit, which is 6,000. Then solve this inequality. We get 14x is less than 1,500. So x is less than or equal to 107.14. Now we have a question. We should choose 108 or 107. So if we choose 108, in fact, it is not less than 107.14. So it would surpass the weight limit. So we should choose 107 as our answer. So question 32 is 107 boxes. Question 33. According to the line graph above, the number of portable medium player sold in 2008 is what fraction of the number sold in 2011? The fraction is equal to the number of portable medium players sold in 2011, which is 160 millions. And in 2008, the number of medium players sold is 100 millions. So the fraction is equal to 100 millions divided by 160 millions. Then we divide out the million, 1 million. We get 100 divided by 160. Then simplified, we get 25/40. That is the fraction required by the question. Question 34. A local television station sells time slots for programs in 30-minute intervals. If the station operates 24 hours per day and every day of the week, what is the total number of 30-minute time slots the station can sell for Thursday and for Tuesday and Wednesday? So 1 hour has 2 30-minute time slots. So 24 hours, which is 1 day, has 2 times 24 times slots, which is 48 time slots in 1 day. And in our question, each week for two days, which is Tuesday and Wednesday. And 2 days is 2 times 48 time slots, which is 96 time slots. So the answer of the question 34 is 96. Question 35. A dairy farmer uses a storage silo that is in the shape of the right circular cylinder above. If the volume of the silo is 72 pi cubic yards, what is the diameter of the base of the cylinder in yards? The formula of the volume of the right circular cylinder is equal to the base times height. And because the base is a circle, so it is equal to pi r squared times height. And the question is, what is the diameter of the base? So we use d to represent the diameter of the base. Then our equation becomes pi equals d over 2. squared times h. Then simplified the volume V equals pi over 4 times d squared times h. And from the given information, the volume of the silo is 72 pi cubic yards. Then we plug in the given information, 72 pi, and equals pi over 4d squared times height. And the height from the graph above, from the figure above, we know the height is 8 yards. So d squared equals 38, and d equals 6 yards. Next question. Questions 37 and 38 refer to the following information. Jessica opened a bank account that earns 2% interest compounded annually. Her initial deposit was $100. And she uses the expression 100 times x to the power of t to find the value of the account after t years. What is the value of x in the expression? To find the value of the account after t years, we use formula A equals P times 1 plus r to the power of t. So here P represents the initial deposit, or we call principal, and R to represent the annual interest. In our case is 2%. Then we substitute the given information into the our formula. So A is the amount, is the value of the account, equals principal $100 times 1 plus annual interest rate, which is 0.02. And we simplified, it is equal to 100 times 1.02 to the power of t. And from the given information, she uses the expression 100 times x to the power of t. So A also equal to 100 times x to the power of t. So now we know the value of x equals 1.02. Question 36. For what value of x is the function h above undefined? We know when denominator equals 0, the function is undefined. So x minus 5 squared plus 4 times x minus 5 plus 4 equals 0. Then we use the t to represent x minus 5. And rewrite the equation. We get t squared minus 4t plus 4 equals 0. And factor is we get t minus 2 squared equals 0. So t equals 2. Then substitute back. So x minus 5 equals 2, x equals 7. So when x equals 7, the function h undefined. Question 38. Jessica's friend Tyshawn found an account that earns 2.5% interest compounded annually. Tyshawn made an initial deposit of $100 into this account. At the same time, Jessica made a deposit of $100 into her account. After 10 years, how much more money will Tyshawn the initial deposit have earned than Jessica's initial deposit? Round your answer to the nearest cent and ignore the dollar sign when grading your response. So the value of Jessica's account is equal to 100 times 1 plus 0.02 to the power of 10 after 10 years. And after 10 years, the value of Taishan's account is equal to 100 times 1 plus 0.025 to the power of 10. Then the difference is we use the account of Taishan minus the account of Jessica. We get 100 times 1.025 to the power of 10 minus 100 times 1.02 to the power of 10. And we do it on the calculator. We get the first expression equals 128.008 minus the second 121.899. The difference is 6.108, and round it to the nearest cent, we get $6.11. So that is the difference or the answer of the question 38.